Hi everyone, it's Lauren and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I'm planning on reading between October and December. I don't normally do kind of monthly TBRs just because I don't like restricting my reading. My reading has been fairly restricted recently because I've been focusing on reading the Man Booker long list before the winner gets announced. But I do have a couple of books that I know I'm going to be reading in the next couple of months for various reasons, and some other books that I have been reading and then put on hold. So the first three books that I know I'm definitely going to read are the remainder of the Man Booker shortlist that I haven't read yet. The shortlist of 6 books was announced on the 15th of September, and I had read 3 of the books that had been shortlisted but not others. So the first one of those is The Brief History of Selling Killings by Marlon James. The next one is The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma, and the last one is The Year of the Runaways by Sanjeev Sahota, which I'm currently reading at the moment, so I probably will finish this very soon. These will definitely be my priority books for the first couple of weeks because the winner is announced on the 13th of October, and I want to obviously have read all the shortlist before then. I also still want to read, which was a long-listed book, The Illuminations by Andrea Hagen. I don't know if I'll be able to get to this before the winner's announced. I might run out of time. I have to see how my reading goes, but this still sounds really interesting. Even though it wasn't shortlisted, I'm still interested in reading this. So that will be the first part of October. There's a couple of books that I was reading in August. I think I featured them in my currently reading video that I did, and then I've just completely shelved them and not picked them up again. The first one of those is Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, which I was really enjoying, and I am looking forward to picking back up again. I think I can remember what was going on in this book. This is a family saga novel about someone who is intersex, and you kind of go back through their family history, and I'm really enjoying his writing. I've got up to the point where we're at the main character's grandparents' era, and yeah, I'm looking forward to picking this back up again. The other book that I was reading before starting the long list was We Need You Names by Novalet Bulawayo, which I was reading on my Kindle. I'm enjoying that as well. That actually was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize a few years ago, so maybe I could justify reading it now, but I think since I've got a deadline of the winner being announced, I need to skew my reading a little bit. I kind of feel like I'm at uni and I've got required reading, but I'm definitely enjoying it, but looking forward to picking this back up and actually getting it finished. The next book I am currently reading and will be reading for the next month or so probably is The Montana Stories by Catherine Mansfield. I know I'm going to be reading this for a while because it's a collection of short stories, and I'm actually doing a buddy read with this with some other booktubers, and I think we've agreed to sort of read it slowly, read it a story at a time and discuss each story, which is a good thing to do with these kind of stories, I think, because it allows you to dip in and out, and as and when. I'm about a third of the way through it at the moment, and I've put it aside for a bit to read some other things. So far I'm finding it quite interesting, the differences in Mansfield writing, because this collection of short stories is chronologically. It's not been assembled in any particular order. There are some unfinished stories in there, and it's more about seeing the evolution of her writing. So the first few stories are quite, I think they were published in magazines, so they're quite popularist, I guess, and not too much happens, and I've just got to the first fairly substantial story, and I really enjoyed that, and her writing suddenly had a big shift for me and became a lot more poetic, and the way her characters were linked together became a lot more interesting for me as well. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Catherine Mansfield, Holly at Library at the Edge of the World recently did a Mansfield 101 video talking about her life as an author, because I didn't actually know anything about Catherine Mansfield. I've heard that her writing is good, but I hadn't heard of her as an author, probably because I didn't study English at university. So I'm pleased to have been introduced to her. I'm actually pleased I watched Holly's video before reading this because it gave me a bit of context to her writing. So I'll link that down below if you want to go and watch that. And the only book that's on this TBR list for now, which I just really want to read, and I'm not reading for a specific reason, is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. I think I've featured this in a previous TBR and I just still haven't got to it. I really like Elena Ferrante's writing. She's an Italian author. Her books in the UK are published by Europa Edition, and this is the first of her Neapolitan novels, which is a series. The third one in the series came out this year, and I actually think the fourth one is coming out next year. So I've really got to get to it. I've been looking forward to this for a really long time, and I'm actually quite excited to start a series by her as well, because I've only read her kind of, I would call them novellas actually, some of the other books of hers that I've read, because they're quite short, and I just think it's going to be really good to really get involved in a story and take your time over enjoying it. And finally, the last two books on my absolutely going to read October to December TBR are the next 2 books that will be featured in my page to screen series. So I'm probably not going to have time to do a page to screen video in October because I've just got so much going on. So if I'm being honest with myself, I think the next one that will be up will be in November, and that is going to be Anna Karenina, which I have already read and absolutely loved, but I have not seen any adaptations of Anna Karenina yet, so this is going to be a really interesting experience for me, I think. I've been looking forward to rereading it for a while actually, just because I really loved it, and I think long books like that really benefit from a rereading. I don't think there are that many adaptations of Anna Karenina, at least not as many as there were of Jane Eyre and things, I'm not sure, but the book itself is quite long, so it might take me a while to read it, but I'm going to start that probably sort of mid-October and try and get it read. And my page to screen for December is going to be A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Conversely, I've seen a lot of adaptations of A Christmas Carol, but I've never actually read it. I think I've read extracts from it at school, but I've never sat down and read A Christmas Carol. So again, that's going to be a little bit different for me as well. So if you would like to read these books along with me or watch a few adaptations in advance of the page to screen videos coming out, then Anna Karenina and A Christmas Carol are going to be the next 2 runs on my schedule. So I'll obviously be reading other stuff in October, November and December. I bought quite a few books recently that I'm really excited to get stuck into. I've got loads of books under my bed at the moment because we're just sorting out our flat, and we broke our bookcase when we were decorating the living room, so there's just piles of books everywhere, so I can't sort of look at everything that I've got in one go. So I'm quite looking forward to not pinning myself down too much with buddy reads and scheduled reads and things like that. I am actually looking forward to just deciding what I want to read next and just picking it up. I think there's kind of a thrill in that. That's what I always enjoyed about having my books on my shelf where I could see them all, because then you can just think, ah, fancy that today. Let me know what you're planning to read soon, if you're planning to read any of these. Or do you not have plans? Do you like to keep your reading unplanned and footloose and fancy-free? Let me know. Why do I not script my videos? Like, I just say so much rubbish sometimes. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye! And I just have one thing to say, which is, why? Why, Hanya? Like, why did you want to do this to me? This broke me, this book. This is about 4 young men who are friends in New York. They're friends from college, and then you kind of see them throughout their whole lives.